So when it comes to astrology, what does sun, moon, or rising mean? I get this question all the time because when I do my tarot readings, I always say this is for such and such a sign, sun, moon, or rising. Some of you guys really know what it is. Some of you guys really know your astrology like in and out, but a lot of people don't. So I'm going to explain it here. Also, I can't find one of the comments, to reply to, so I'm just like making the video, but also sometimes you guys DM me the question and I don't think I can do reply videos based on this. Anyway, sorry, Gabby issues. But anyway, so sun, moon, and rising. So your sun sign is just the sign that you're born with. That is like the date of your birth. So if somebody says, well, I'm September, blah, 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 that means I'm a Virgo. That's your sun sign. That's what everybody refers to as their zodiac sign, is the sun sign. And that is basically your personality. And a lot of times it's also like your purpose. And so your sun sign tells you a lot about like who you are and how you operate in most ways, kind of like your default mode is the way to think about it. Your moon sign is determined, so you get your moon and your rising signs based off of like the time and location of your birth. So if you ever do like a full birth chart, and so that's what it's referred to as either a natal chart or a birth chart in astrology, where you find out about like the houses and the different, your Venuses and whatever, all of that is based off of like your full birth details. Like you need the time and location of your birth. And so that's why on my website, if you guys have ever bought anything, when you check out, I'm always like, did you purchase an astrological chart? Because I need this information, that's why, because I do also do like cute little like card takeaways for people. They're actually adorable because when you're first starting out, it's hard to remember what your big three are. And that's what it's referred to. Your sun, moon, and rising are also called, your big three, right? And so anyway, so your moon sign specifically is how you show up emotionally, like how you operate emotionally and how you operate in relationships. So for example, I'm a Virgo sun, so of course I like my checklist, of course I'm a fixer, like all that Virgo-ness. But my emotionality is actually Aries. I know, don't hate me, but my moon sign is Aries. And so that means that I can be like a little bit aggressive emotionally. And like, if I'm pressed, like you don't want to press a Virgo Aries, let me tell you that, like that is not going well for anybody because I will pop off, right? Especially because that Aries moon, I can be like super spicy. And Aries moons also like to take like a leadership role in relationships, and they're like natural born leaders. And so like, it explains a lot in my daily life. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so aggressive. Like it's not a Virgo thing. No, it's because of my moon, my moon sign is Aries. Okay. And again, emotions and relationships basically, and how you react, and then your rising sign is fun and interesting because your rising sign is how you initially present yourself to the world. It's kind of like your aspect. So it's like your default image. Like, how we go through the world and we just like project this image to people. So if you feel misunderstood, a lot of times it's because people are reacting to your rising sign and not your sun sign. So your sun sign identity may be like completely the opposite of your rising sign. I'll give you myself as an example again. I have a Capricorn rising. That's my rising sign. And so I'm very business-like. I love business. I like to make money. Like I just have this whole like, and when it hits the fan, I tend to be aggressive and very business-like. But I always feel like misunderstood in my corporate jobs, like in my past, because I'm like, well, I'm a service Virgo. Like I'm doing this for the benefit of other people. I just happen to do it in a very Aries aggressive and Capricorn business-like way. So anyway, think about it that way. Is your rising sign is what people are reacting to. Basically, your moon sign is how you react. And then your sun sign is like how you operate and who you really are inside. So as you get more and more used to these like terms and stuff, it will start to make way more sense. But I know when I was first learning, I definitely struggled to remember what my big three were. I was always having to look them up. My sister makes birth chart books, and so she made one for me and for my partner. And like over the years, as I've learned more about astrology, I've gone back and like reread like my whole birth chart, the whole book that my sister made for us, which is very helpful and very generous of her, by the way. Thank you, Amy. Yes, my sister's name is Amy and I love her dearly. She's the best. And yes, so what I did is I made these like quick reference sheets for myself of what my sun, moon, and rising signs were, and like what the like properties of those like specific, like an Aries moon means this and a Capricorn rising means this. So anyway, for those of you who've been confused, I hope that that explains like what the sun, moon, and rising are, because a lot of times you guys just like put in a comment, you're like, well, my birthday is X, so what is my moon and rising? Well, nobody can tell you that based on that. They need your time of birth and the location in order to calculate the moon and rising. But there's like websites that do that, by the way. So like you can Google like birth chart and what's my moon and rising and like put the information, and you don't have to share it with us on the internet at all. And you don't need to buy one of my like card cheat sheets thing. Those are just like a cute reference. Like you don't need to do anything. You can get all this information for free. Like there's websites that let you do it for free. So anyway, I hope that explains that, and I hope that also explains why when you guys like put your birthday in the comment, people can't actually answer what you're trying to answer. But feel free to look it up, and then if you want more than what I do, because like I said, I do the cheat sheet of like the big three, and I also do a deep dive on the big three, but I don't go past that. So if you're like, well, what is my, Venus, yada, yada, I don't know. I don't go into that. That's just not where I spend my time. But there's definitely great astrologers here on TikTok who do full birth charts, things like that. So feel free to like look for those accounts too. There's one girl I follow who I love, and I think she does do full birth chart consultations as well. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. I hope that answers your questions. Let me know what other questions you have, and I'll try and answer them at a high level. But like I said, I mostly focus on the big three and work with the big three. I find the rest of them interesting, but like my interests don't go that deep when it comes to it. So I hope that helps. And then, yeah, anyway, let me know if you have any questions. Bye.